The truth is, martial arts aren't really an art. They're a study, a skill, and a science. And nothing is a better example than that than Muay Thai, Pradal Saray. The reason for that is, unlike karate, with Muay Thai, you are the fist, you are the strike. The more I really consider it and get into the study and the practice, I realize that it's not so much the strikes, the knees, the tomahawk elbows. It's the fact that in between the time those are generated, this seemingly not so great stance that from my strict boxing background actually looked horrible at first. When I started to really spar with fighters who were trying to take my head off, I realized how useless, and take my leg off, how useless this stance was when the opponent was kicking. So the sacred geometry, science, and skill of Muay Thai, and having the precise right angles, finishing and starting the strikes, the punches, the elbows in the right position, it makes it so that your body is a weapon throughout the entire process. Unlike karate, where only your strike, only that strike, really, that moment is the weapon. In Muay Thai, your whole body is destroying the blades. The blade of this arm, which is lined up with this pinky, is constantly destroying. The knees are doing the same thing. So you don't even have to be throwing elbow strikes. You're pretty close to there just by being in a perfect guard. So one thing to work on at home is a lot of bridging and hitting, which I like to work on, namely bicep control, shoulder control, and using that to set up the strikes, letting the strikes turn into elbows, letting the elbows turn into back elbows, following up with knees. Try to think like you're a trucker and you got a big wheel. That's a great way to throw. Bunker and Ganya used to scream that at me over a Fairtex. Think about it if you're turning a big truck driving wheel as you're throwing those knees. Sorry, I should have moved the camera frame down a little bit. Definitely be practicing the elbows at home. Remember the center line theory, the center line principle. Hang a string from the ceiling and throw your hooks, I always say, so they don't go past that center line. And with the elbow, it's even more perfect to envision that center line principle, because look what happens in a way that you don't even have in boxing, except for maybe with a jab. You're covered to a great extent. I want to say totally covered. You're not totally covered, obviously, but to a great extent. Obviously open for an overhand shot here. But these level elbows are so underrated. I know everyone's trying to come over the top, do all this fancy stuff. The horizontal elbow, literally just studying that, knowing just the simple steps and how to practice that, and then just the very basic, simple, rudimentary arts and science of the spinning back elbow. I was practicing that in the garage today. Just rounds and rounds of it. Left, right, left, right. I've got to show you guys how to do that. One of my fighters actually taught me how to do that. So I know this doesn't look anything like a good stance if you have a boxing background like me and you're used to elbows being totally down, that this is just totally open and exposed. But in Muay Thai, we have to take those body kicks and cinch them up hard and come back, because we are getting hit up here with everything, and on the side and the back of the head. So your core has to be conditioned to take shots from the front, the side, the back. It's legal to hit people in the spine and the back in Muay Thai. It's legal to elbow people on the top of the head. It's legal to kick them when they're down for a split second in the course of a motion. So if you throw somebody down and you kick them in the face in Muay Thai, that's actually totally legal, believe it or not. So the rules are very strange. One awesome rule that it's not really a rule, but like in any stadium in Thailand, it's really become just, it's ingrained. There are 4 techniques. I forget what they are, but like one of them is Superman punch, one of them is spinning elbow. These techniques, you basically hit the lottery. Like you've 4x to 10x your win money if you get a knockout with those things. And it's I know definitely Superman punch is one of them. you know, they love flashy techniques because it is a stadium after all. So I don't know what that really has to do with life other than for self-defense and for fighting. I love Superman strikes just because I've seen them in stadiums and in arenas take out professional high-level fighters who would, you know, were not susceptible to any other strikes. So yeah, remember that center line with the elbow as well as the hooks. Here is perfect. Here you went too far. Same thing with the rear hook or the rear elbow. Here you went too far. Here is perfect. See that big mistake I made? I didn't grab the top of my head or the back of my head. I was down here like karate. Remember, it's Muay Thai. When one elbow is throwing, you want the other to be blocking. Otherwise, you're going to eat a shot in return.